Today we are going to go over the pros and cons of our no seal forms. They are the only form you'll ever need to create pieces like this. There's absolutely nothing worse than creating a form, doing your pour, and ending up with a leak like this. You can see the amount of silicone wasted, time wasted, and just overall stress from a leak like this. Each and every time you build a form, there's a risk of a leak, whether it's from a lack of silicone or bumping the walls of your form when you're putting the slabs in, or not having a perfectly level table. It happens all too often and way more than we like to admit it. And that's why our no seal forms are the perfect solution to this problem that every epoxy worker has. In this video, we're going to go over the steps that we took to get to this point for this epoxy project. We start by grabbing a few pieces of wood that we want to use and head over to the bandsaw to trim them to size so that we can get the desired design that we're aiming for. Once our wood is trimmed to size, we head over to our form and place our pieces. Now we use these little HDPE blocks on top of the wood so that our overpour of epoxy doesn't stick to the clamps. You can also use plywood with our form building tape because the cured epoxy won't stick to that. You'll notice these forms have a tapered sidewall, and the reason for that is so that when the epoxy cures and you flip your form over, the piece releases from the form nice and easy. With these tapered edges, you will waste a little bit of epoxy between the wood and the form, but that's a worthwhile trade-off considering you won't have to spend time building forms, siliconing edges, and risking having a leak when you pour your epoxy. An alternative to using clamps to hold your pieces in place is hot glue between the pieces of wood and the form. We find it works well, but it does make it a little more tricky to get the finished piece out of the form once the epoxy cured, so we like to stick to the clamps and blocks. There's no need to over tighten the clamps, you just want to make sure that the pieces of wood don't float when you pour. Next up, we make sure our form is nice and level, just using an old deck of playing cards. Once our form's level, we start mixing epoxy and adding color. We are using Epoxy Flow Cast, which is available on our website, along with pigments from Black Diamond. It's important to mix your epoxy thoroughly to make sure the resin and the hardener are mixed well, and you also want to make sure that your color is evenly distributed and there's no mica powder left floating around. We use a paddle mixer because we are mixing epoxy quite often, but you can also use a scrap piece of wood to mix up your epoxy and pigment. Now that our form is level, our epoxy is mixed, it's time to pour. When purchasing epoxy, you want to make sure that you are selecting the right kind of epoxy for your project. There's a lot of epoxies out there that are designed for 1/4 inch pours or less, so you want to make sure you pick a casting epoxy so you can do these deeper pours. When we are calculating how much epoxy we need, we always add about 10% extra so that we can over pour a little bit, and that way when we take it to our CNC or planer, we can flatten the wood and epoxy to the same thickness. Here you can see the epoxy curing. This was the first hour after we poured, and you can see that exothermic reaction, which causes this really cool effect. The Epoxy Flow Cast that we use for this pour takes about 72 hours to fully cure before it's ready to take out of the form. Now that the epoxy is cured, it's time to take our piece out of the form. We start by removing the clamps. Then we take our rubber mallet and lightly tap each side, and you'll actually hear a little click once the edge of the form releases from the epoxy. It'll sound more like a thud before that point. Then we flip our form over and give it a few more taps on the bottom, and you'll hear when the piece releases. The thud from the mallet will change, and you will hear when the piece drops to the table. And just like that, your piece is ready for machining and sanding, and your form is ready to be poured again. Let us know if you have any questions or comments regarding these forms. We do have them in multiple sizes, including 10 by 18 inch, 24 by 12 inch, 24 by 48 inch, and 14 by 18 inch. Thank you for watching, and if you found this informative, go hit that like button and we'll be sure to make some more content like this.